I hit record a drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, finish friends on my face. Looking like I'm from the deep, these no Cartiers. Pockets deep, 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 bro. I can make it in my seat, bro. Do you, I'm doing me, bro. Making noise, use a beat, bro. Whoa, whoa. I press the button and the doors go off like, whoa. That money clip us now, the new now looks like, whoa. Upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like, whoa, 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 whoa. Neighborhood on the scene, neighborhood on the strip. Neighborhood be the name, neighborhood no crib. Neighborhood that's me, neighborhood that's Nick. Neighborhood do the dance, neighborhood do the dip. Okay, thought I'd never make it like no way. I'm the real deal, no role play. My days off, that's no days. No, I hustle hard, young rose. E be the shooter, that's cold case. Those on the deals, that's brose. Got no pay, yo, no say. Okay, this the news, tell them read it. Been the one since the fetus. Don't sleep on me, Tempur-Pedic. That's a no, no, no. Spending dope for no reason. Got a ball head, Mr. Cleaner. Heard the big bags overseas, then we gon' go, go, go. Whoa, I press the button and the doors go off like, whoa. That money.
Hey, hey, listen, man, what is going on? What is going on, Cowboys Nation? I got my man Mo in the building. You know I was grooving a little bit, bro. You already know what it is, man. What's good with you, homie? Let me see. Let me get my man on. Let me see. Okay, I had you on mute. What's good, dog?
What's going on, man? Hey, man, long time no see post-draft, my guy. You know, back in the States, back home in Philly right now, visiting family, man. But, you know, camp coming around, getting that itch.
Yeah,
about to put some pads on. We need some heaters out here again, man.
Man, it's so awesome, bro. Like, you know, I'm rocking my dog chain. You already know what it is, man. You already know what it is, man. We bringing the dogs out. Every time I put this chain on, we getting close to the season, or we within the middle of the season when it's getting real important. Because the thing is, bro, we love football. It's so good to have you back on to talk fantasy football, Jaguars, the Cowboys. The Cowboys is so many things that we can be talking about, bro. But we missed you on here, bro, because the last time we sat on here, we was talking about the draft. We had so many things to break down, man. And I know you're happy about the whole draft, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, definitely, man. Definitely, man. Yeah, last time we were on here was a good show, man. And, you know, there's so much to talk about. I know you want to get into Dak and all that, man. I'm looking forward to it on this lovely Friday, man. Let's go.
Man, let me give a shout out to my man Toxic Splendor. What's up, dog? Hey, shout out to you. Shout out to Eastside Harold. What's up, man? I know Eastside Harold always coming in here hating, man, but he always love, man. He said, let's see, man. My man said,
yeah.
Hey, look, he's the Texans fan, bro. So you can get out with him, you know, because you the Jaguars guy, so y'all can break some things down. But the Texans, they are balling for real. They showing a lot of promise. But when you run into us, bro, we gonna handle that. You know what I'm saying? That's what we gotta do.
I remember him. Yeah, I remember him. Okay, I'm gonna see him today. Every time I come on here, I don't see him. I see him today.
Hey, shout out to everybody, though. Shout out to Swain. What's good, Swain? What's going on? Shout out to Jameson Taylor. I ain't seen y'all in a minute, man. I've been so stuck doing these all 22s, but it's been production. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's good to give yourself a break. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, man, it's been so much producing. Sometimes you just want to sit back and just talk. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
You want to do a live stream and break things down, man. And it's great to have you on, bro. So for you, so you're coming from out of state, you know what I mean? And now you're in Philly right now.
Yep.
How did that all go, bro? I know, I mean, and you said it's been like a month, right? Or like 3 weeks that
I've been back for a month, man. Unfortunately, I had some family, some deaths in the family I had to attend to, man. So, you know, I live overseas in Germany, as you know, and I've been back in Philly for about a month, man, readjusting to life back in the States, man. So, you know, it's been a switch, man, because when you live over there and then come back across that pond, it's a big switch sometimes, man. It's just be like, damn. You know, so getting used to that again, man. That's all it was.
Bro, it's so crazy because I haven't really traveled, you know. Well, I went to Dallas last year, but I haven't really traveled too much. But going out of state, going to another country, man, oh man. But I do have my passport though, so eventually, we're gonna have to take a trip. Croatia. You from Croatia?
No, I'm in Germany. I'm in Germany.
You from Croatia? Because I remember when you went there, bro.
Oh, you remember that? Damn, you don't forget that.
Yeah, you had a good time, man.
Yes, sir. You gotta come out.
Hey, but shout out to everybody. It's so good though, guys. I mean, there's so many things to break down. We did want to come in here and start this off just by talking about Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, man, that is my guy. I've been fighting for this guy for so long, bro. And the season is here now. I mean, you're getting to a point now where your contract, a lot of these quarterbacks in the NFL now, these guys are getting paid over $50 million. I think that what Dak Prescott can be able to do, as long as you can be able to build around him, you don't have to be the perfect quarterback. Just run the engine. The thing is with a Dak Prescott, I've mentioned this before, I've had so much respect for him, taking Romo's position, being a quarterback, and quarterbacking for the Dallas Cowboys is not an easy thing. So when I first saw him, when he first came to the Dallas Cowboys and he stepped on the field, this guy was doing everything perfect. And I mean, the pocket awareness, just going out there and being a leader on and off the field, scrambling, doing all types of stuff. But the thing is, he has not taken that next step in the playoffs. And we're keeping it real. The contract is looming right now. One more year, I think it's like $50 million or for 1 year. But sometimes, situations with Dak Prescott, he steps up when he has to prove it. You know what I mean? Same thing with guys like Mike Zimmer, 1 year deal. Mike McCarthy, one year deal. So usually when you do have those type of situations, you can get the best out of these guys. I don't want to just hop out there and say, oh, let's pay this guy, let's pay him. I know the importance of the quarterback position, but we got to understand that Dak's going to have to put us in place and get us to where we want to go. There are no excuses for us, bro. Now, I've kind of simmered down, Mo, you know what I'm saying, when it came down to Dak Prescott, because you know how much I believe in him. I believe in his skill set, but I look at the whole entire team, and it's not just the quarterback. It has to be a team thing when it comes down to Dak Prescott, bro.
Yeah, you're right, man. I know you've been a Dak homer for years. Me and you go at it all the time off camera. You know that, man. And Dak, in fairness to Dak, he was my guy. When he came out of Mississippi State, 4th round pick, I think it was. Dak was my guy, man, and I liked his talent.
Hey, listen, man, tell Cowboys Nation right now, because you real funny about Dak. But I mean, hey, look, man, I feel you, but that was your boy in college. That was your boy.
It was. And now I'm gonna be real. You're gonna keep it real on here as always. I was a Dak guy. When he came out in 16, I think it was post Romo era. Because Romo was at the end and all that. And I was a Dak guy. I loved the fact that he was a 4th round pick. He wasn't the high rated guy, but I liked how he played at the Senior Bowl that year. That's where he really got my attention that year. I think he was the Senior Bowl MVP of that game, if I'm not mistaken. So that, I liked his moxie and everything and what he was able to do. The problem with that and why you and me butt heads on that, and I hope I don't get Cowboys Nation to hate me so much, but hey, I'm just saying, my whole thing with Dak is he's not a bad quarterback, obviously not. I just say, look, man, you going into year 8. It's year 8 now, right? You just have
I think it's 8. How many, dog? Because dog, time is flying. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
time is flying. Hey, and make sure y'all say happy birthday to my man Mo. His birthday is tomorrow, man. Happy birthday, dog.
Hey, appreciate you.
Yeah,
appreciate that, man. I'm getting a little started already,
Hey, listen, man, what you drinking, man? What you got over there?
Hey, I got this little Long Island iced tea Coke mix, Getting a little frosty,
Okay, yeah, I got the tequila, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here doing the bachata over here, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I feel you. Nah, I feel you, man. But what I was saying about Dak was, he can play. He can play in the regular season. He's definitely. I think he's a top 10, top 12 quarterback. He's in this range. I don't think he's elite, in my opinion. I think Dak is a guy that you need to have like you bring in Zeke back. You're going back to the old school game with Zeke and all that. You need a strong running game, and then Dak. If you can get him to minimize the turnovers and he's not pressing, he can win. He can play when you have the environment around him to do so, like you say all the time. My issue with Dak is, look, 2 playoff wins in 8 years, my man, and you want Jerry to pay you $50+ million. to get that type of investment. Look, man, 2 wins in 8 years ain't gonna do it, especially in Dallas with all that history and the pedigree you have with Cowboys and Cowboys Nation. That's not gonna get it done, So I'm saying, look, Dak can play. He has shown ability of being elite. But my question with him is, and just being real, can he sustain that elite play all season long, especially when it matters, when it gets cold, like you and me talk about all the time. When it gets cold, when it gets frosty outside, we need you to be there. And 2 playoff wins is not enough in 8 years. This is the make or break year.
And the thing is, bro, we love the Dallas Cowboys so much, but we're not going to be the delusional fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like you said, when it gets cold outside, when it's the playoffs, when it really matters most, we want you to be able to step up and go out there and play lights out. Now, we're not going to, focus all on, just Dak Prescott, because we do know that this guy is highly skilled, but, defense, offense, special teams, everything is going to have to play a big part to be able to take that next step. When we lost to the Green Bay Packers, it wasn't just Dak, it was the defense. We can go down a long laundry list of things that went down. We don't really want to get too much into that. But the thing is, most importantly, though, with Dak Prescott, if you can be able to build around him, you said that he's not elite, but my thing is, when I look at it, I do think that he does have elite traits, but with the quarterback position, if you do right, if you draft well, if you go out there and pick up guys in free agency, you don't always got to have the best quarterback to be able to win championships. Get a guy that can go out there, that can be serviceable. You can go out there, even the guys that's game managers, they go out there and run that juggernaut and get it done. You know what I'm saying? Look at the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to give credit where it's due. Like, they can bring in any quarterback and run a system. I want Dallas to be able to do that. If you have that offensive line, you got that defensive line to get things going. I think that Dak Prescott, we know he's going to put up numbers, but at the same time, when we get to the playoff, guys, that's when we're going to be really paying attention to Dak to see if we can be able to get it done.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He said nothing but facts, man.
Hey, and shout out to Tay Cowboys. Hey, Tay, what's good, Tay? Let me see. Hold on. Hey, Tay, what's going on, Tay? Hey, listen, it's so crazy. Every stream that I go to, whether if it's Law Nation stream or if it's anybody's stream that you're in, I can't find you. I don't know if something was pressed where I don't see you in the streams, but I've been missing you, Tay. What's going on? Shout out to you. But yeah, man, in closing on Dak Prescott, I am really excited just to see what he's going to do this season. I mean, there's so many skill position players. We will get into that. But at this point now, I think that when his back is against the wall, when so many people are talking bad about him, the 3 and 4 letter networks, we believe in the real media as far as new media. I don't know. I got to get you hip to new media, bro.
You do.
We got a lot of content.
Yeah.
That's over here in new media. So we don't really listen too far in too deep with the 3 and 4 letter networks, but we know the type of player that Dak can be able to be, but he's going to have to prove it, just like you said, Mo.
Yeah, he's going to have to prove it, man. And it's not me hating or nothing like that, because me and you talk about it, but I'm just saying, he's shown ability to be elite, but my question is, can he sustain that elite play over a long period of time, especially in the playoffs? He has the trait, he has the talent. That's not the issue with that, like we were saying. So, that's not the issue. Get CeeDee Lamb locked up, which I'm sure we'll talk about. You got the, you're revamping your offensive line, what you did in the draft a little bit. You got two, with Beebe and Guyton. You brought Zeke back. You got an elite defense. That is no question. You're getting Trayvon Diggs back. There is literally no excuses for Dak Prescott this year, period. And you know it, and everybody else knows it. Yeah. And that's why I like what you do on this show, and that's why I like everybody that comes on this show. Because the hype is all Dallas Cowboy fans are delusional, but y'all keep it real on here, and y'all the real ones. And I got to respect that.
Thank you, bro. Hey, look, I appreciate you saying that, though, because it's so crazy, man, because a lot of people, they do run with that narrative that we're delusional. We're delusional. Nah, bro, we know we're good. We know we're a good team. We're a good team in the regular season, but we got to prove it when it matters most. That's right. Just what it is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. But moving on to Trevor Lawrence. I need to get your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence. I know that he signed that big contract. The last time that you came in here, you had questions, about him. But you've always grown. You always liked this guy when you guys drafted him. But it was some shaky play, and then he, was looking good on certain games and stuff like that. Just talk a little bit about how you feel about Trevor Lawrence and getting that contract, because that boy got paid the bag now, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
22, bro.
Jacksonville is quarterback nightmare land. You know what I mean? Quarterback nightmare land. So, when you get a guy that's 6'6", 220 pounds with a rocket arm, accurate, can move around, and is being called a generational quarterback, especially in Jacksonville, we ain't got no choice but to get hype. Come on now.
Yeah.
So with my thing with Trevor Lawrence is, has he lived up to the hype? No. But has the offensive line been kind to him? No either. He hasn't had the great talent. In 21, when he was a rookie, Urban Meyer was an absolute joke. Okay. And then 22, he took off in the second half of the year. Last year, he was pressing a little bit, and the O-line was terrible. And then he was always banged up. So now it's like, okay, you got the fifth-year option. What do? Do you pay him or not? I'm sorry. If we wouldn't have paid him, somebody else would have paid him. You know how the markets work, Jay. You and me know how the market works. Cowboy Nation know how the quarterback market works. You got to pay these boys, even if we don't agree with how much they're getting paid. This is the market. You pay the quarterback, you can't even touch him in practice. So you got to pay these guys. Do I think he deserves all that money? No, I don't. But do I disagree with the move to push and pay him now versus, okay, let's say he goes out and balls out and throws 35, 40 touchdowns. Then guess what? The price went up another $10 million. So we had to do it now while we got him somewhat cheap in compared to quarterback markets right now to pay him now. And that's why we were able to pay Josh Allen. That's why we were able to go out and get Eric Armstead and Darnell Savage and all those guys in free agency, because we were able to push down Trevor Lawrence's extension. So now we got him locked up for another 5 or 6 years and don't have to pay him $10 million more in the next year. So I understand it. But just like we talk about Dak, Trevor got to prove it too now. Yeah. He got to prove it too.
Yeah. Let me go to my man Swain. He did say, you can go ahead and read that, bro.
T-Law was a good re-up. Hey, appreciate appreciate that, man. Because that my position on it is, man, look, like I just said, it's a quarterback-driven league, as we all know. The quarterback's got to get the bag. We all know that. He's got major upside. He has all the ability and all the talent in the world. I believe he showed that, especially, like I said, at the end of 22. We had one of the greatest, if not the greatest, NFL comeback of all time in the playoffs against the Chargers when we were down 27-0, and that boy went off. Even though he threw 4 picks, he threw 4 touchdowns, and got us back in that game.
Yeah,
which was crazy. So my whole thing is like, listen, as much as he presses and makes mistakes at times, there's still so much upside. The kid will be 24 years old in October. I mean, give me a break. And you can't teach 6'6" with an arm and accuracy and moxie. So while I, understand what everybody's saying, I still believe in him 100%.
Yeah, I honestly, he's not a bad quarterback. It took me some time to be, to draw into how, his type of game. But I think that, with everything that he has built around him, it was a lot of hype with him going in, his first year. You know what I'm saying? So, but sometimes with quarterbacks, it takes time. Like it could take a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road. But I think that, with the skill players that you guys have, the ETNs, all of those players, your tight end, I think that this guy can be able to thrive. We will get into like the defense and stuff like that, because the only way that you're going to be able to beat those top tier teams is if you can be able to fix things like that right. It's not just the quarterback position, but I think that, what this guy can be able to do for you guys, he might be one of the guys I'm picking fantasy. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, go ahead, Jay. Let me know, man. Let me know. Let me get the book out, Jay. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, but when you're in a league and the going rate is 50 million, 60 million. All of these guys, let me go to this picture real quick.
Look, 40 to 50 mil. Look at that.
Peek this right here. Yeah, so
yeah.
Trevor Lawrence at 55 mil per year. Then you got Joe Burrow, you got Jared Goff. A lot of these players, man, Justin Herbert at 52 million. So when we're thinking about Dak Prescott is better than a lot of these quarterbacks on this board right now. Arguably, well, yeah, then you got Patrick Mahomes at the bottom, but his contract is so big, the yearly that he's getting on, they're finding ways to be able to tweak that. But as far as guys like Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence, these guys are getting 55 million per year. And I think that Dak Prescott is right there with all of these guys, as much as people want to hate, but you can build around this guy. The numbers that this guy has put up, he's gotten all Pro Bowls, all types of stuff. The only question about him is the playoffs when it really matters most. But as far as any of these quarterbacks here, a lot of these quarterbacks ain't even been to the playoffs, bro. or made any moves in the playoffs. So you got to, keep the thing. You got to keep things the same motion, when it comes down to Dak Prescott.
Well, you're definitely right. And in fairness to Dak, Trevor Lawrence is the highest paid in the NFL today, Friday, July 19th. Mm-hmm. But we all know damn well that's going to change, because guess what? Dak going to get paid. Tua's going to get paid. Tua, he's still got to work out that contract down in Miami, and he's been doing well when he's healthy. Dak, as much as he needs to step up, has also shown, hey, you know what? I put up top 10 numbers, arguably top 5 numbers at times. So he's definitely going to get paid. That's for sure. So this number that Trevor's at, it ain't going to stick at that high, because Dak, he's definitely going to get over 50 mil. But my question is, like, what's Jerry going to do? Is Jerry going to wait and take that risk? Is he going to tag him again? What's going on?
It's looking like he's going to end up waiting, bro. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if you know that Dak is our guy, you got to find a way to pay him some way, somehow. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I've been going back and forth with you about this, but it's hard to find quarterbacks in this league. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I want to see this year what Dak can be able to do. You know what I mean? So they might not end up signing him, bro. I remember I was looking at John Machota and my guy Dallas Cowboys. He was talking and he was saying pretty much that he might not end up getting signed all season. So keep a lookout for that. You know what I mean? So I think Dak Prescott's going to be playing on that 1-year deal.
Well, let me ask you one question, bro. Let me ask you one question real quick. Trey Lance, you got Trey Lance. Do you think that was the insurance policy the whole time, and Jerry and them was getting ready? Because Trey Lance he's not proven, but Trey Lance only came out a couple years ago. He's a baby. Okay, he's barely played.
Keyword.
Do you think that's the potential insurance policy?
Man, but the key words that you just said, not proven. You know what I'm saying? He's not proven, so you don't know what you're going to get out of him. He's a very, very young player, and I think that he does have talent, but we don't really know much from him. We will see once we get to training camp and seeing how everything is playing out, the battle for that number 2 quarterback spot. Hopefully Trey Lance is ready to go. You know what I mean? I'm excited to see him. Very, very athletic player. He can be able to throw the ball. Sometimes when it comes down to, switching up to a different organization, but being around Dak Prescott, that can be able to ramp you up. Vice versa. Dak Prescott around a guy that they have been hyping in Trey Lance. Look what Dak Prescott was doing when Romo was there. He played absolutely perfect. We understand that the NFL is not for long, so you do not want any of these guys to get comfortable, Mo. And that goes for every position on the field, because that could be able to bring the best out of any position, bro.
Facts. Definitely facts.
Hey, shout out to Swain. You can go every day. He was.
He said, "Hey Mo, what quarterback here would you class Trevor Lawrence as of today? Your leader, good." That's a good question, man. Honestly, it's just like with that.
Hey, don't size it, dog. Don't size it, dog.
I'm not gonna size it. I'm not gonna size it because I'm not.
I can just.
You know what, Jay? I'm gonna be fair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be fair. He's not elite. So I can't even cite it, man. I got to be real. I'm just how I am. Like, I'm gonna be real. He's shown potential of being elite. He has the flashes, and he definitely has the upside to being one of the best quarterbacks in this league. But you got to be real. The numbers in the tape says could be elite, but right now he's good. So I put him in tier 2 or like tier 3, 2 or 3. He's not tier 1.
That's not always a bad thing, bro. That's
right. Because everyone has their different definition of tiers. Is that top 4? Is it top 5? Like, tiers are kind of weird. Like, what are you putting 5, 5, 4? Like, but I would put him in like somewhere between tier 2 and tier 3 because of how he played last year. He did not play well last year. Yeah. He did not.
Yeah. All right, so that was good. That was a good little, a segment of these quarterbacks, man. We got to definitely move on. We got to talk about these draft picks, man, because it's a whirlwind with all of this. I'm so excited to see how this all plays out once we get to mini camp, once we get to training camp, and get to the preseason. So with our guy, man, Tyler Guyton, I'm excited about this player because the thing is, being with Duke Manyweather, that made me happy hearing about that. I did have my questions about Tyler Guyton, but I'm not going to question guys like Will McClay. I was thinking that Dallas was going to go center or guard, bro. I didn't know for sure. Remember our last live stream, but we got to understand that guys like Tyron Smith not being there, the importance of the left tackle position is everything. You know what I mean? It's arguably the most important position in football. So you have to take those chances at that left tackle position. I think that what he can be able to do at the second level, his athleticism, the way that he can be able to use his feet, I would like to see the technique things more. But when you're going up against guys like DeMarcus Lawrence, when you're going up against Micah Parsons, you will see a lot of ghost rushes. You know, the ghost rushes, like when you're not even being touched, where the better pass rushers that can dip without being touched, bro. You're going to be seeing a lot of that from guys like Micah Parsons, club moves, swipe moves. So the thing is, iron sharpens iron. And I think that with this player, he will have his times where he's going to go through certain, it'll be some downs, but I think that, you know, with his ability, being 6'8", 322 pounds, you got to have that size. If you can be able to move like a basketball player, that's what you need to be able to be an effective offense. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens because I know that, you know, with the gridiron, not just the quarterback position, the wide receiver position, if that gridiron is right from the offensive line to the defensive line, I believe that's how we can be able to take that next step once we get to the playoffs, bro.
Oh, definitely. You know, because that's what y'all all about, building the offensive line. The Dallas Cowboys. Oh, by the way, man, rest in peace to Larry Allen, man. Rest in peace to Larry Allen, man. Yeah, rest in peace to him, man. For real. I just wanted to say that, man, because you know how great he was.
Yeah, big time.
And so Dallas Cowboys offensive line heaven, you know. So you get a guy like him, Tyler Guyton, with his size, his athleticism, his feet, his arm length, you know, you are rebuilding your offensive line with him, Tyler Smith. You still got Zach Martin there. And then you drafted Cooper Beebe, who I absolutely loved. You know, we were talking about him in the draft.
Yeah, big time.
You know, so you're rebuilding. You drafted 2 offensive linemen in the first 3 rounds this year. And Guyton, that's a high upside pick. Yeah, he's raw. Yeah, he needs to improve probably his anchor a little bit. You know, his hands can be a little late sometimes. You know, but that feet and that arm length, and you can't teach 6'8". And if anybody can get him right, it's your Dallas Cowboys and that offensive line coaching. So, you know, you're getting back to that. And so this should be Dak Prescott looking like, oh, okay, well, hey, guess what? Y'all trying to protect me so I can get paid. Hey, you know, you can look at it like that.
Yeah, facts.
Protect your quarterback and go back to what y'all do well, which is run the ball, smash people in the face, and then pass the ball second. Yeah. So this is a good move in that direction for you. I like the move, and I like the player. You got to be patient with him. Got to be patient.
Because you don't want to. We had a guy named Chuma Edoga playing left tackle for us, bro. I mean, he was on the line, so you want to, you know, he gets the want, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Oh damn, man!
Hey, bro, the dude, and I mean, playing in the NFL is always a good thing, but you know, being a starter, playing with the first team, you're going to be going against world-class athletes, so you don't want to get your quarterback blasted. You want to keep your quarterback safe, so you got to bring in the best guys. Tyron Smith being gone, you have to implement a guy like Tyler Guyton. Just like I said, bro, he's going to go through his growing pains, but sinking his anchor down, the technique things, doing little things like that. If he can get right with Duke Manyweather is one of the guys, he's a trainer for like offensive linemen, defensive linemen. The dude is a beast. So hopefully, you know, the technique things, he can get him right. And by the time, you know, we get to the training camp within the next week, we'll be able to get things going, bro. So it's going to definitely be good.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, that's the Tyron Smith replacement. That's how you look at it, you know. And hey, you know, how old is Tyler Guyton? How old is he?
Tyler Guyton.
21. He's a young prospect, isn't he?
21. Yeah, they all young, bro.
He's a baby, man. Oh man, yeah, 21. Come on, man.
We picked up Tyron Smith, bro. He was like 20. Dude was like, he was like almost 19 day one there, bro. So yeah, it's you have to bring in those guys that's really, really athletic, got good feet. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good to see how it all plays out with him. But as far as your first round pick, right? Because you got it on the money, man. Let me give you the bomb. Listen, you talked about Brian Thomas Jr. Let us know your thoughts on him because you broke this guy down. Shout out to everybody too, y'all. What's good, y'all? Shout out to everybody we got in here. Smoke one for you. What's good, dog? What's going on? Hey, look, man. You see I'm live, man. So make sure y'all hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? I don't go live too much. I'm mainly doing, you know, producing work. So you guys tap in with me, man. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Hit that share. I appreciate y'all so much. We try to get these lives going. You know, my wife tell me all the time. She like, Jay, You gotta do the lines too sometimes, JC. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, let me step in. You know what I'm saying? So
work too hard, man. Work too damn hard, man.
hey,
you know what I'm saying? Work too hard, man.
Too hard, bro. I'll be out this job making movies, bro. Like, you know, but it's so much fun though. Once I finish it, like I appreciate Cowboys Nation so much that I want to show them things that they haven't never seen before. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They have a skill set to be able to do things and show them in a certain kind of way. And I appreciate them so much. So that's why I be doing what I be doing, bro. I'll be typing.
You be in the lab.
Geeking, bro.
Be in the lab, bro. Be in the lab, man.
But as far as man, give us the breakdown on Brian Thomas and let us know, you know, that you was spot or you was on the money.
Well, hey, I said the last time I was on the show, man, I said, hey, I want Brian Thomas. That was my guy. But not only did we get him, we traded back.
My bad. Hold on, bro. Hold on. All right, go ahead. Hold it down. My bad. I got you. I got small 22. But you see the old video right there where me and you were talking.
Mm-hmm.
Let me cover it up real quick. My bad.
Nah, you good. Nah, I love it, man. Cause we was. Hey, I love it, man. I love it because we was definitely talking about him. And I said, look, I wanted him. That was my pick at 17. But not only did we get him, we traded back from 17 to 23 and still got him anyway. We traded back and picked up a 3rd and 4th round pick next year's class and still got my guy. I was nice as hell. So I said, look, man, Brian Thomas, 6'3", 210 pounds, 4.3 speed. You know, he's got to work on some things. He's got to get stronger. He's got to work on that nuanced route tree and all that. But you can't replace 17 touchdowns, 6'3", 4.3 speed. He is physical, even though he needs to get stronger. He can run routes. He's nifty on his feet. And on top of that, his hands and his ability to be a jump ball guy, he's going to be a high impact early player because Trevor is going to finally be able to air the ball downfield. Calvin Ridley was great, but Calvin Ridley, when we lost Christian Kirk last year, our offense fell apart because all teams were doing was doubling Calvin Ridley deep. They were blanketing him. They were just shading the safety over on him every time. And then we didn't have that slot guy to do what Christian Kirk was doing. So Evan Ingram was getting 1,000 targets a game and all that. So now we got Gabe Davis, if he can be consistent, and we got him on one side, Brian Thomas on the other side, with Kirk in the middle to stretch the floor, to stretch the field. I love the move. I absolutely love the move, and I love this kid's ability. I think he has all the potential in the world. It's just got to be patient with him. But I love this move and the new direction our offense is going in.
Yeah, it's so good with his type of ability, bro. He's a tall guy too, and I mean, having the ability to clip the top off with defense, this guy was really, really productive. I was watching this guy on all 22, and a lot of Cowboys Nation, we gonna keep it real. A lot of us like Brian Thomas coming out, you know what I'm saying? But you have a guy I think he got over 1,100 yards this past season and like 15 touchdowns. I mean, it's production there. So when you match a guy like him and Gabe Davis together, I mean, that's fireworks. We just broke down guys like Trevor Lawrence, so for you guys in the AFC, it might just make it that much more easier, especially having guys like ETN. So looking at him, bro, that's why I had to definitely bring you in here so we can do a little rerun on, what happened with Brian Thomas. I know you was going off too. You was going off.
I was in a lovely mood that weekend. I was.
Hey, shout out to Rampage too, bro. Happy birthday to Rampage, man.
Hey.
Good, dog. Happy birthday to you, brother. Let me give you the hand clap.
Hey.
Give my man a hand clap, man. Let me get one more, man.
Hey, yes, sir.
Hey, y'all.
Yes, sir.
I can't do no graphics because y'all know I do some graphics for. I have something going on with the happy birthday. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Hey, shout out to Mr. Real Talk Cowboy. What's going on, man? I ain't seen you in a while. Shout out to JVB boy. What's going on, man? What is good? What is good? Shout out to Darren. What's going on, y'all? What is good, man? Thank y'all so much. Smash that like button for me. I appreciate y'all. But yeah, man, that wide receiver position is so important. Let me put my man back on. It is so important. You have to keep nabbing at it, bro. That's why I say with me, man, I mean, with guys like CeeDee Lamb, you got to pay that guy. When you think about guys like Brian Thomas, a lot of these guys, they're changing the league, bro. We talk fantasy. Let me ask you one quick question. I don't want to sideline too much, but I want to ask you something spicy real quick.
Oh, okay. What you got? What you got?
So as far as fantasy, right? You know what I'm saying? With the running back position, do you draft running backs in the first round now, or has the game changed? Do you lean towards wide receivers?
I'm sorry, I can't answer that question, man. That's classified information. Nah, I'm just. Nah, man. I think it depends on the format. You in a 12 team, you in a 16 team, you in a 10 team. If you go running back early, you said running back early or what? What was the other one?
Yeah, so if you know how back in the day everybody used to lean on running back so early.
Yeah,
the wide receivers have changed the game. So now a lot of these teams in fantasy now they're picking wide receivers in the first round. So I just want to pick your brain real quick, just so you can share with the network what your thoughts is real quick about that wide receiver, of how important they are versus the running back position, in fantasy.
Well, I may draft, a receiver if he's like Justin Jefferson or somebody like that. It depends on the receiver. So, I think with today's game, yeah, you're right. Back then, you just used to double stack on running back. Yo, stack. But now, sometimes, with first round picks and running backs, I get a little nervous because usually when I draft them, they get hurt, or something like that happens. So I think now you can still do that if it's like an elite special guy like a Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, somebody like that. But I think nowadays the game has changed a little bit where you can kind of wait on receiver because of how deep receiver is. You and me have talked about that all the time off camera. You know that because we're rivals and we can't stand each other from August to January because we're rivals. So receiver's deep and you can wait.
The reason why I mention things like that is because it's just been a transition as far as the wide receiver position, guys. Like when you think about a guy like CeeDee Lamb, you have to pay this guy. Like I'm not sure how much Jay Jettas got. I think it was like 35 million per or 33 million per.
Something like that, yeah.
I don't remember how much he got, but you have to pay him somewhere in the neighborhood because we all know that Stephen Jones always says we love our guys. So if you love your guys, you got to go out there and pay this dude. I mean, this guy has been getting good every single year. So when you're talking about guys like Brian Thomas and what he can potentially do for your Jaguars, that makes me think about CeeDee Lamb. That's why I was talking about the importance of, I kind of shifted to fantasy because I'm just thinking about how much the passing league now and so much has changed versus that running back position. There's so much value, later rounds in fantasy, but like with guys like CeeDee Lamb, guys that can be able to change games like him, you can use him in the slot on the outside. I think that things have changed as far as with the wide receiver position in this new day of football.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I agree with everything you said. I think you're right on the money, bro, because, you're talking about CeeDee Lamb in that contract situation. It's kind of getting messy a little bit. In my opinion, CeeDee Lamb is a top 5 receiver, period. He is the top 5 guy. He's not Justin Jefferson, but he's in the ballpark. He's in the conversation. He's up there with him. He's up there with Devontae Adams. He's up there with Jamar Chase. He's up there with Tyreek Hill, in my opinion.
Only reason why I'm not going to put him there with Justin Jefferson yet, and I know that he has the skill set to be that, but if we all keeping it real, we need to see another year from him. We already seen Jay Jettas do it like twice or 3 times, over 1,800 yards, crazy numbers. So yeah, CeeDee Lamb did that this year. If he does it again this year, bro, I mean, he did it last year. If he does it again this year, then you can be able to turn him up a notch. You know what I mean? But, I think that, with his type of situation, hopefully he don't end up holding out. We'll see how that all plays out. But this guy has put in so much work. You have to pay your guys. If you love your guys, those guys are top guys. The CeeDee Lambs, the Micah Parsons, Dak Prescotts, all of those top tier players, you got to take care of them and build around everybody else, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's how you got to do it.
Well, let me ask you a quick question, real quick question. So you're saying he's not, so we agree that he's not Justin Jefferson level and all that. So let me ask you this. Where do you put CeeDee Lamb? Is he a top 5 receiver? And if so, who would you say off the top of your head right now, top 5?
So he's definitely a top 5. I mean, I'm going to pick Jay Jettas. Then, I mean, I can't, it's hard for me to put Devontae Adams, bruh, because it's so hard for me not, just because he's with the Raiders, they some mops over there. Like Devontae Adams is a monster, bro. He still is a monster now. So you have to put him there at like number 2. And then I think that CeeDee Lamb is right there at 3. Oh, no. Let's say, my opinion, Tyreek Hill at 3 and then CeeDee Lamb at 4. You know what I'm saying?
over Jamar Chase and over AJ Brown.
But I think that Devontae Adams, what he has going on at the Raiders right now, I'll put Devontae Adams at 4. But if he had a better quarterback, we know what the damage that he does. But regardless, bro, it can go either way. But if you got a top 5 wide receiver, it's hard to pick that number 5 guy because you can go from Jamar Chase. It's a lot of guys that you can pick at that number 5 spot. But if you have a top tier wide receiver, you have to go pay this guy, bro. Don't play around in training camp. They got to build this chemistry, just like we said. 1-year deal for Dak Prescott, Mike Zimmer, Mike McCarthy. The time is now. Get this guy signed, get that chemistry going, and get this thing rocking, bro. So it's gonna be good to see how that all plays out with them.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough, man. It's definitely going to be interesting because I'm looking at it like, don't play with this man. You know, it's going to start getting messy, and you know he's already talking about holding out. I'm sure everybody knows that, and it's just like, okay, like listen, man. You know, you cannot afford in Dallas Cowboy land to have your best quarterback and your best receiver in contract disputes in the same damn year. You can't do that. That's some, you know, like, come on now. It's already, you know, Dallas and all that, but both of them in the same year. Oh boy.
That's too much juju. You know what I'm saying? You know, because like, he is like, you don't want to be sidetracked. You know what I mean? At this point now, like we all looking, they better prove it to us, bro. Like I said, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have that chemistry, then you have nothing. You know what I mean? We've had some super talented teams. If you don't have the right game plan, that's why I say it's not always about the players on the field. If you got the right coaching, that's why they put a big focus on getting the right defensive line coach, offensive line coach, because if you can be able to plan everything together, once you get to the playoffs, you can come out with the right scheme, and that's how you can be able to advance when you get to the big games.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so let's go to the second round picks. You know what I'm saying? I'll get you to break yours down real quick. Give me your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Mason Smith, I didn't do an all 22 on him, so I don't really know too much about him, but you know, that was your guy, you know what I mean? And I know that the importance, that was second round, right, bro?
Yeah, second round. He was second round.
Yes, we know the importance of that defensive tackle position. We will get into our guys too. But let us know about Mason Smith, man, and what you think that he can be able to do for the team this year in year 1.
Well, you know what, Mason Smith, man, this is a big boy now. This is a big boy. He about 6'6", over 300 pounds. You know, he was a top end recruit coming out of high school, but you know, and then he had a good freshman year. I think he was in a good sophomore year, and then I think he was starting to take off a little bit, but then he got hurt and tore his ACL, and he didn't start playing up to speed until the end of last year. You know, so when you look at Mason Smith and you see big, raw, physical, can control the run. You know, he can rush the passer. But the thing with him is he's raw. He's got to work on his hands. He's got to block shot a little bit better, you know, and all those things that can be taught. But you cannot teach his strength and his raw ability. You know, you look at this kid, man, I think he's a modern day 3 technique, you know, and the thing about it is we got him in the second round. I'll be brutally honest with you, bro. I didn't think we were going to draft him in the second round, but the thing is, when you think about it, Jacksonville Jaguars, you know, I'm a diehard Jags fan, as you know. You ask anybody with and you call it Duval Nation over there, is we lack physicality. We were getting bullied in the trenches. We cannot afford to get bullied and get ran on. Davon Hamilton, which is one of our best defensive tackles, he had an injury and an illness last year, and he wasn't up to speed. So what do? We go out and sign Eric Armstead. So this is a good situational pick where, okay.
Lining up on the outside, though. That's pretty.
No. He's not going to line up because
Let me show you real quick. This is a defensive tackle here. He's lining up right there, bro.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, he's versatile. He's versatile, and I'm telling you, when his get off is scary, and when he actually uses his hands and decides he's going to get you, he's going to get you. But the consistency and all that is an issue, because you go back and look at the Alabama tape and stuff like that, where he's just getting doubled and all that. But when you also look at the tape of him at the end of last year, you saw, okay, this kid should be a first round pick. Had he not had that knee injury, I'm pretty confident he would have been a first round pick. So we needed to get more physical, more athletic, and a plan for the future. Eric Armstead is the guy he's going to be playing behind. And I'm sorry, Eric Armstead is a dog. He is a dog. And to be learning behind Eric Armstead as a second round pick means obviously you don't have to get heavy playing time right away. You'll come in a rotation and learn that way, and he'll be okay.
Yeah, big time, bro. It's gonna be good to see how that all plays out at that defensive tackle position on y'all side, especially with Armstead, bro. That's big time. Hey, shout out to my man Adampa, man. What's going on, dog? Hey, what's good, man? I ain't seen you in a minute, man. What's good? He said, "What's up, JC, bro? I said back in February we should trade Micah. Trade Micah.
Wow.
Trade Micah. Oh man.
Ooh.
How about that, man?
Oh damn. Oh boy. Come with the heaters.
Yeah, straight up swinging haymakers. and the team, I didn't take a drink to that, man.
Yeah, what you going to trade Micah Parsons for? What you going to trade him for? What
yeah.
like?
And the team, he said, and the team we should have traded him to is in the house. And in the team that we should trade him to is in the house. Talking about the Jags. Oh shit. Then he said, anyway, I hear people speaking about trading him now. Like I said, he is not a leader, man. It's the thing is with me, bro. I mean, he is so good. I just want him to just stay away from like I mean, people go 50-50 with this, but me personally, I want him to stay away from that podcast stuff. I mean, I know people are entitled to do whatever they want to do, but I think that, being able to focus and lock in him and Malik Hooker, they had a bad little skirmish between them, like little situation that was going on with them. But it's pretty much the same mindset that I think as well. Like I want these guys to be able to lock in, and everything is bigger when it comes down to Texas, man. So the thing is, when you have a guy like Micah Parsons and what he can be able to do for this team, especially with Mike Zimmer's type of defense, you can utilize this guy all over the field. He doesn't have to be a leader that you're saying, bro. Like you have guys like Dak Prescott, you got the DeMarcus Lawrences, you have a lot of these guys. They're going to all be drawn to him anyway because of his type of skill set. But if he can go out there and do his job, continue to be able to wreck games, I think that you can be able to have something when it comes down to Micah Parsons. But as far as trading him, bro, that kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't know about that.
Man, he got me with that. He threw me off. Well, yeah, I just want to address him. First of all, Micah Parsons is a great player. But we're good in Jacksonville, man. We got Josh Allen coming off 17.5 sacks. We got Trayvon Walker, second year at 10 sacks. We just switched back to we switched back from a 3-4 scheme. Now we back to the traditional 4-3 under new defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen's scheme, which is a 4-3 attack a defense. So as great as Parson is, we're not trading for him. And plus, we'd have to give up the house, and the house for him. Like,
yeah, but the thing is, like, when you do have a guy that you have to game plan on week in and week out, you have to keep those guys, bro. I mean, this guy is absolutely he wrecks games at any type of any angle, bro. So you have to have guys like that, but you have to utilize this guy right. So he's gonna have to lock in, though. I think that Micah Parsons, if he can be able to just lock in and focus this year, he can go out there and make a difference. So it's gonna be good to see how it all plays out with him, but no excuses for him either. As well as guys like Dak Prescott, you've been with this team for the last 3-4 years. You got to go out there and lock in Micah Parsons and get it done. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
But as far as your guy at that defensive tackle position, that's big time, bro. It's going to be important to see how that all plays out with you guys. But with us, we didn't pick up Justin Rogers. I did a film session on him. It was a very productive film session. The thing is, when you have a guy that's over 320 pounds, he hit the transfer portal, who started off at Kentucky, then he moved on to Auburn. And he's not one of the guys that, he's not a sack artist, but if you can have a guy that can play that one technique position, be that space eater, and allow your linebackers to scrape from sideline to sideline and get to the quarterback, it's going to be good to see. But with us, I think that at that defensive tackle position, you have to continue to keep nabbing at it. Don't stop nabbing at it. There are guys that are still out there in free agency. We did pick up Daxon too as well out of Illinois, but you have to continue to keep on bringing in these guys, because that is pretty much our biggest problem when we get down to the big games, Maurice, is being able to stop the run. But when you see a guy like Justin Rogers, I'm glad that they're at least trying to nab at it and see if they can find a difference maker, because if you can't get this right, I don't care what linebackers you have, if those offensive linemen can be able to get down to the second level, then it's going to be hard for any linebacker out there. But the thing is, with a guy like Justin Rogers, I think that if he can be able to focus, and you're going up against guys like Zach Martin, a lot of those guys in the interior, Tyler Smith, iron sharpens iron. So I think that this guy can be able to be something for us, but he got to go out there and prove it, bro.
Oh, he's definitely going to go out and prove it. And my question is, I always forget the boy's name, but your first round pick last year, what was his name? last year?
Hold on.
Yeah, right. The name.
Hold on.
The big boy, defensive tackle.
You said our first round pick last year?
Yeah.
Mozzie Smith.
How do you think he fits next to Mozzie Smith?
See,
that's my question to you.
Look, that's why I say you have to continue to keep nabbing at it, because at this point now, Mozzie Smith is going through a shoulder injury right now. He didn't have the best year last year, but we're not going to just completely count this guy out. You know what I mean? Just like guys like Luke Schoonmaker, any of those guys. I know we've had our questions about Michigan players, but the thing is, you have to give this guy the second year. Let's see what this guy can be able to do, but he's going to have to get healthy first. He didn't do well last year, but, if you can implement him, play his right position, I think that this guy can be productive for us, but he's going to have to prove it as well. We'll see. It's a wait and see when it comes down to that defensive tackle position.
Yeah, he's definitely big. He's physical. The way he fills those gaps up for those linebackers, because linebackers, your inside linebackers has needed some work now. So what are you doing? You're going out and getting big boys like that can push the pocket. Yeah, obviously his job as a one tech is not to get 10 sacks. His job is to fill gaps and fill gaps and have gap control for your linebackers to eat. That's obviously his job, and that's a big boy. He can push the pocket. I heard about him down there in the SEC, played in a great conference. I mean, that's the best conference. I mean, Auburn. I mean, that's the best conference. So, he's playing against the best competition. And like you said just a second ago, for him to be able to go against guys like Zach Martin and Beebe, who we're going to get to, he's just going to, like you say, iron sharpens iron. And if Mozzie Smith, you can also look at it like he can push Mozzie Smith a little bit as well when he recovers from his injury. Y'all are going back to old school Cowboy heyday days where you're building the trenches. Yeah, you're going back to the trenches.
Hey, look, and I'm moving on to my guy Marshan Kneeland. So this was our second round pick. You know what I'm saying? We're building the trenches. You want to continue to keep on bringing in those bullies, and not saying that this guy was a sack artist, bro, but being a guy that can strike with his hands. You can go out there and stop the run. You need that when it comes down to these guys. And the better scouts, you got to find players that can be tough, guys that have played other sports, just like we mentioned with guys like Tyler Guyton. You want guys that has a past of being a wrestler. I've mentioned that before. Guys like Micah Parsons. So seeing a player like Marshan Kneeland and what he did for this team, regardless if it was a small school, you see that this guy's going out there and playing bully ball. And we've had questions about stopping the run. So that one technique position, the three technique, I feel good about Osa Odigizua this year. I think he'll go out there and do work. But if you can be able to sprinkle in a little bit of Marshan Kneeland and getting this guy right, you see this guy's closing speed, being heavy like he is, 260 pounds. That was one of my favorite breakdowns that I did this whole season, man. And I think that what he can be able to do on that defensive line with Mike Zimmer, Micah Parsons, and being around a guy like DeMarcus Lawrence, taking this guy under his wing, I think that he's going to be able to turn up this year. Not saying that he's going to jump off on his stats and get 10, 12 sacks or anything like that, but if you can be able to stop the run, you can be effective, get after the quarterback, blow off timing, that's how you can be able to open things up for the entire defense, my brother.
Oh, definitely, 100%. And I have to say, I have a confession to make, Jay. I have a confession to make on this lovely Friday evening.
What's that, man?
I wanted Kneeland, man. Y'all stole him from me, man. Y'all stole him, man. Y'all stole him. Y'all stole him.
Yeah.
Y'all stole him from me, man. Let me tell you something. What do you want? Central Michigan, right? Was it Central Michigan?
Yeah, Western Michigan.
Oh, Western Michigan. Sorry.
Western Michigan. Yeah, but it's crazy. But a lot of people didn't really know too much about him. Only a few draft heads. Anybody, doing all 22 or running some film and stuff like that. Cowboys Nation knew, a lot of us knew about him and stuff like that. But he was one of the big time dogs that they had going towards the end of the first round, in the second round. So the production that he did, not only being able to stop the run, but being a leader on and off the field. He wore number 94 as well as number 99, and he will be wearing number 94 for the Dallas Cowboys. So you know what that means, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I'm sure they think a lot of this guy and what he can be able to do for the Dallas Cowboys, in his career.
Well, my whole thing is, and what stood out to me about Kneeland, I watched him at the Senior Bowl and the Senior Bowl practices. I saw him, being a wrecking ball. But the biggest trait I noticed about him, he's 6'3", a little bit undersized height-wise. But one thing that stood out to me, what got my attention, was him setting the edge. The way he can set that edge against, and y'all are trying to identify yourselves as a team that's like, yo, we got to stop the run. What do? You get Mozzie Smith last year. Then you get Rodgers in the second round. Then you re-up with that and get Kneeland in round 3. So that's already 3 picks.
But he's not the most bendiest type of defensive end, but it's not always a bad thing. You remember, I mean, you can have guys. I mean, we've had a lot of defensive ends that might not be the most bendiest player, but if you can be able to stop the run, if you can be tough, that is very important because a lot of these teams now, you have to be able to stop the run. If you can't stop the run, that sets up play action and it opens up their entire offense. So the team that's going out there and you're picking up a defensive end, you're picking up that left tackle, you're picking up left tackle Tyler Smith, defensive end Marshan Kneeland, Cooper Beebe. We're about to get to him now. But when you're picking trenches and having those non-sexy drafts, this is the draft I've been waiting for so long from this team, because sometimes those non-sexy drafts, that's how you can be able to, get to where you need to be once you get to the playoffs. Yeah, definitely. And, just because it ain't sexy don't mean it don't work. You know what I mean? Y'all, I got the dog chain, man. You out there. Yes, sir. We're getting closer to training camp. Y'all already know I had to bring the dog chain on. It's in my profile picture, man. We bring the dogs out, man. Hey, yes, sir. You got to get back to hitting people, man. But, my thing with Kneeland is I agree with you that he's not the bendiest guy. But you know what? Just because you're not bendy doesn't mean you can't get to the quarterback. Doesn't mean you can't power rush. Doesn't mean you can't use your hands and bull rush and also stop the run and play multiple positions. Just because you're not as bendy doesn't mean you can't be effective. So he can also do that in different ways for y'all. And I like the identity approach that y'all doing, which is to be more physical. And that's what he brings to y'all. That your defensive line, man. I love the pick because y'all stole him. Hey, shout out to my man Toxic Splendor, man. Hey, that's my guy right there, man. Shout out to you, bro. I'm going to email you some more. I got some more things to email you too, man. Shout out to all my members too. If you guys want to join the channel, make sure y'all join because I'll be sending you guys all 22. You guys are going to do, it's going to be members only live streams. It's going to be members. All my film sessions that I break down, you guys will have access to those first. So if you guys support me, I got you guys back. A lot of college all 22. So this year, next year, once we get into the new drafted players, I will be sending you guys a lot of all 22 so we can break things down. So once we get into the live streams, you guys can be able to check it all out. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm gonna hold y'all down, man. Hey. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fireworks as always. Yeah, I know, right? My man said JC, Cowboys Network, that's blue star next to my name. Big time. Yeah, that blue star next to his name because, he support the channel, dog, and I appreciate you so much, bro. You already know what it is, man. You part of the reason why we keep things going as far as this network, bro, because it's tough. It's tough, man. Definitely with my life and a lot of things that's going on, man. I appreciate y'all so much. Might not step on lives too much, but I make up for it when I'm producing. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. You definitely do, man. You definitely do, man. I know what it is, bro. All right. So real quick for you, bro. So as far as your fourth pick? What was it? Jerryon Jones? The third pick was Jerryon Jones, cornerback out of Florida State. Okay, Jerryon Jones. Okay, cornerback Florida State. Okay, gotcha, bro. All right, so what's your thoughts on him, bro? Real quick. Jerryon Jones. Jerryon Jones. You good on time, right? You good on time? I know we talking about so much. We hitting on a lot of things. You good on time? I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good. Jerryon Jones. I love him. Good size, good speed. 4'4", corner. Very sticky in coverage. He played outside and inside, but he's better at nickel. Very smart. Hard worker, and he has positional versatility. That's what I love about him. And his mindset, he is a dog. He is an absolute dog, man. The dude, you don't know much about him. Not a lot of people knew about him because he wasn't at the I don't think he was at the Senior Bowl. I'm not sure. I don't think he was at the Senior Bowl, but he played in the Shrine. I think he played in the Shrine Bowl, and that's where he got my attention. Those Shrine Bowl practices and stuff like that. Because he also had the other cornerback, Ronaldo Green, that kind of overshowered him. Right. Hey, I'm gonna cut you off 1 second. You can continue on. Hey, shout out to my man Darren Posey for coming to memory, dog. Hey, listen, dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Hey, make sure you send me your email too, man, because we got some things that we can chop up on. I got some things that I want to send you guys, so I'm gonna send more. It's been we're getting into the whole training camp and stuff like that, but we still gonna break things down. You know what I mean? I like to do film. Once we get to training camp, I'm still gonna be running because I still got to do Crooms. Who else I got to do? I got to do Amani Johnson. I know we want to see Amani Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Because you search Amani Johnson, ain't no Amani Johnson out there. So I know that joint about to blow up. You know what I'm saying? Right. Two more that Cowboys Nation need to see. Even though these guys might end up getting cut, y'all. You know what I'm saying? They might end up getting cut, but the thing is, it's good to see what they can do and see the bad things that they need to work on as well. So once we get into training camp, we can, have a good idea on what these guys are doing. So we starting to mix some things up now. It's a new day in Dallas now, dog. There's new content creators out here, man. It is fireworks. So we can have a good understanding, man. And I'm excited. I'm so excited, man. Man, for the member, man. I appreciate you, brother.
It's the new wave. New wave, man.
All right, go ahead, bro.
Oh no, that was dope, man. But now with Jerry and Jones, I really like the pick because people kept saying, "Oh, why?" We had to address corner in Jacksonville. We had to address corner. Where's the corner? Everyone thought we was going corner in round one. Then we didn't get one in round one or round two. Then people wanted to go, start a stampede down in Jacksonville. Like, what the hell is going on? And they're like, wait a minute, hold up. We still got Tyson Campbell. We signed Ronald Darby in free agency. He's a solid player. We got some young corners in Jacksonville that we believe in, and so we double dipped in corner in the third round and the fifth round. Jerry and Jones was a guy I feel like should have been maybe a late second round pick. I really believe he's going to turn a lot of heads this year. We also signed Darnell Savage in free agency, who was a safety in Green Bay, but he's going to. Yeah, and he's a 4-3 guy. But, he's going to start out at nickel corner for us, though. So Jerry and Jones is a guy that brings that depth immediately, and Jerry and Jones is going to bring that nasty. He can stick in coverage. He can play multiple positions. He can play special teams, and his intelligence and his ability in man coverage is very good, especially with this new scheme that we're doing. So I like the pick.
You're speaking highly of this dude, bro.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Jay. That's my guy.
Hey, watch it get cooked come training camp, cuz.
I'm telling
Hey, look, going against Gabe Davis and all them boys, but just like we said, iron sharpens iron. You have to have guys like that. But it's good that that you speaking highly of this cornerback. We did get a cornerback too on this side. I love to hear about these corners because just like we said, playing that wide receiver position, we know that it's a passing league. It is very important. It's the same thing like pass rushers. You can never have enough of those guys. So you have to continue to keep nabbing at it and continue to keep on bringing players because it can be one play where you might need them or a rep where you might need them. You need your second, third, and fourth corner. So that fifth corner that's out there, he might see some play time sometime throughout the year. So with that being said, just breaking down guys like Kalen Carson, he's from Waldorf, right, bro?
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, PG County. Okay.
And, look, so he actually played against my cousin for Quince Orchard. So my cousin played for Quince Orchard, and I did see him play. This guy's one of the guys that has played wide receiver as well. So a lot of these scouts, man, you want guys to have a good understanding of what these wide receivers are doing. Definitely these cornerbacks, because if you can be able to do that and know these type of tendencies, it's very important to be able to have a player out there to make a difference. And I think that with him, there will be bad times with him. He ran a 4.57. He's not the most fastest type of player. But the thing is, what this guy can be able to do, his type of instincts, having that short-term type of memory, meaning if once he gets beat, how quickly can he recover? And he's one of the guys that can cover well, or not cover well, but he can recover well and and move on to the next play. So you have to have those type of guys there because a lot of these corners, Mo, once they get beat, those guys, their mindset, they're gone and they're continuing to get beat. So he's one of the guys that can be able to make a difference. And I think that, if he can be able to keep on keeping on, I think that, this guy can be able to turn up. But don't get so caught into if he's going to take Jordan Lewis's position, because Jordan Lewis has been around for a long time. But just like I said, that fourth corner, that fifth corner, if you have that guy going out there and, doing some work, eventually this guy will be able to see the field.
So is Kelvin Joseph gone, or is he still on the roster?
Hey, shout out to you. What is going on? What is going on? Shout out to you. What's good? What's good?
Nah, I was going to ask, is Kelvin Joseph still on the roster, or is he gone?
Oh, he's out of there. Yeah, but he's been out of there. Bro, come on, man.
Kelvin Joseph? Hey, Kelvin Joseph. You know why I talked about Kelvin Joseph? Because last time we talked about him, man, you absolutely despised that man when we played the Jags, and all that. So I was like, okay, Kelvin Joseph was the guy. And then you for some reason, y'all didn't re-sign Stephon Gilmore. And I'm still surprised he's not signed.
I'm actually really upset about that, bro. I want him to be on the team. You know what I mean? Because I think that, with him, sorry to cut you off, but I think that having Mike Zimmer and on this team, it kind of reminds me of when he had Terrence Newman. Remember, because Mike Zimmer had Terrence Newman for a stint at Minnesota. So being an older cornerback, you want to, for Xavier Rhodes, same thing with like guys like Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland. You want to have that veteran type of leadership. You know what I mean? So I think he still has a little bit of juice left in the tank. You know what I mean?
So yeah, because I'm like you. I'm surprised he's still out there, man. But he'll probably get picked up before camp starts or something like that, or injury comes up, because he still can play, obviously. But I'm gonna ask you about Carson, man. Like, so where do you think his upside is? Because you got Diggs, obviously you got Deron Bland, but you two dogs, obviously. Where do you feel Carson's upside is this year on the Cowboys depth chart? Where do you think this kid's upside is at for this year?
Man, well, first of all, shout out to Sadiqa. What's going on, Sadiqa? Shout out to you. It's always good to see you, Sadiqa. Thank you so much for coming through. As far as his upside, I think that, having the ability to be able to play in the slot as well as on the outside, he was matching up against all of the top tier wide receivers every single week. So a lot of these scouts, they like to see things like that, bro. When you're going up against that number one guy, for the good and for the bad, you can see that this guy, he's battling with those players. But I think that, playing special teams, if he can find his way on special teams, possibly, if you can be able to implement him on certain packages, I don't think that he's going to take a Jordan Lewis's spot at this moment right now, especially having all these guys on 1-year contracts. But you never know. If he is out there really turning up, you might have to give this guy some burn. But Jordan Lewis, he not saying that he's the perfect corner, but he has been up against these top tier wide receivers in the league. You know what I'm saying? So he's you feel comfortable about players like him, but just knowing in your back pocket that you have a Kalen Carson, a guy that understands what wide receivers are doing, and all it takes for this guy to be able to get implemented and get used to the the NFL flow. I think that he can be something for us. So I think he'll peak on the field. We will see him a lot come preseason though, for sure, brother.
Oh, okay, yeah, I feel you with that, because I wanted to ask, and I think you also made a great point of the fact that this kid was a former receiver. So a lot of those corners that transition from that, when you change positions and when you were a former receiver, you are a lot of times running the route for the guy.
Big time, yeah.
You're literally watching the footwork, watching the release point, watching the stem right before you do it, and then you can cut off and click and close. So one thing I noticed on your all 22 about him, and looking at these clips that you're posting, it's click and close. Even though he ran a 4.7 or 4.57, sorry, he can click and close pretty well. He can take your head off. On top of that, he's physical. So sometimes people get caught up too much in, like we talked about, the 40 time.
The speed, bro, like facts, bro. They get caught into that. You hit that on the number, because just because you're running a 4.3 mode don't always mean you ain't gonna get beat out here. Like, if you don't understand spatial awareness, if you don't understand route running, you can get clipped out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, spatial awareness, route running, and on top of that, and I think the most important is play speed. Play speed. You could run a 4.25. but be the slowest. How in Madden sometimes your awareness rating would be like, wow, he's so fast, but then his awareness is like a 40 in Madden, and you'd be like, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's because your play speed and your ability to diagnose plays and route concepts is slow. So it doesn't matter how fast you run if you don't know what's going on before the route breaks. So that's why you brought up a great point about being a former receiver. That's going to help this kid in his transition.
Yeah, big time. That's why I say, man, it's definitely going to be good from the wide receiver position, that cornerback position. It's going to be fireworks. Chat box, y'all let me know y'all matchup that y'all will like to see once we get to training camp. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if it's the same position, if it's an offensive line versus defensive line, what matchup would you like to see? And I'm going to break down mine's, Mo. I want you to just give me your thoughts on the Jaguars after I finish mine. But one of my biggest matchups, well, not matchups, but position battles that I want to see this year is Cooper Beebe going up against Brock Hoffman. And the thing is, with Cooper Beebe, I am so excited to be able to see a player like him not only being able to play that left guard position, but you played right tackle, he didn't play too much center. I think he had 2 games where he played center, but having a guy that can be able to get to the second level and, completely beat up everybody week in and week out, is so good to be able to have that on an offensive line, and we was missing that last year. Another one of those guys that's the leader on and off the field, and I think that he was working with Duke Manyweather. I've been mentioning Duke Manyweather a lot, so I don't know. You might want to do some research because I got a lot of respect for him, but I've talked to his father Tom on Twitter, and just seeing this guy, what this guy did for Kansas year in and year out. The guy was consistent, and I think that, once he gets things going, it's going to be good. But with guys like Brock Hoffman, I broke him down too. I did all of his college film. I don't think that he's going to let up that easily, Cowboys Nation. But that's a good thing because you want to have that healthy competition. It brings out the best in you. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. One thing about me, man, the trenches, if we can be able to get that right, we'll be fine. But seeing guys like Cooper Beebe, the consistency, the physicality, going out there and beating up those guys from every level of the field, I like this guy. You know what I mean? And I think that he's one of the guys that can be able to bring the best out of guys like Dak Prescott and guys like Ezekiel Elliott as well.
When you draft a kid like Cooper Beebe, it screams that, and you know what that means. You know what that means. You know what that means.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Sadiqa. She was saying Sadiqa. Shout out to Sadiqa. She was saying that Zeke was coming back since last year. You know what I'm saying? So he back now, but when you get that center position right, it changes everything. Do you guys remember Travis Frederick? Once he came, it completely changed everything because that center position is the quarterback of the defense. You call it all the plays, but you got to have a guy that's smart. And I think that with a guy like Cooper Beebe, he fits the bill as well as Brock Hoffman. I don't think he's going to lighten up, but I think that that's going to be that point that's going to bring the best out of guys like Cooper Beebe. So it's going to be good as far as the trenches, bro.
Yeah, I really like, that's one of the other guy that he was on my big board in the draft, in April. I was, because I was looking at Jacksonville when I was talking about earlier physicality. We needed to improve the interior offensive line. And Cooper Beebe from Kansas State was one of those dudes. I was like, we got to get him because, first of all, 4-year player. I think he only allowed 2 sacks in his entire career. He had one of the highest PFF ratings in run blocking and pass blocking. But the thing is, he's an older prospect. His ankles are a little stiff, and he's not a great mover. So I think that's why he was available in round 3. But I don't give a damn. Sometimes you get the best guards in the mid rounds. You know that, and we both know that. You know what I mean? Right. So you get the best maulers, which is what Dallas has always been, maulers, because they punch you in the face and ask questions later. That's what y'all do. And it's Cooper Beebe fits the profile of what y'all want to do. I wanted him. I'm not going to lie. And on top of that, you're talking about the center position. Cooper Beebe was a guard in college, but he can also play center because that was the question about him. Is he a center? Is he a guard? It doesn't matter. I think Cooper Beebe is a baller. He's a run blocker first before he's a pass blocker, and he's not a great mover, but he can move well enough to where he is just going to be so physical, and he's just going to compete and make guys like Hoffman better, like you said. And like you've been harping on, iron sharpens iron. Yeah. And getting Zeke back, you're making the identity known of what y'all going to do. So he fits the profile to a T, and I love the move. And you got Guyton round 1, you go back in round 3 and get BB. Those are 2 really good picks from y'all, man.
Yeah, big time, man. That's why I said those non-sexy drafts, I've been waiting for one of those for so long. Like pretty boy drafts, when you get the wide receiver, you get the flashy, you get the Brian Thomas and stuff like that. But the good thing, the good thing about you guys, y'all did get Brian Thomas, but not only that, you guys picked up Jefferson, the other LSU defensive tackle, right?
Jordan Jefferson.
Yeah.
Round 4.
As well as guys like Mason Smith. So y'all have a good idea on being able to stop the run. Y'all want to bring in Armstead. You want to bring in guys like that. And the same thing with us, bro. That defensive tackle is so important. If you get that right, it opens everything up. as well as that center position, man. We got to talk, you know what I'm saying? We got to talk them trenches, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, we do.
To talk about, bro, because I know at this point now, if you can be able to get that right, you get a better Tyler Guyton, you get a better Tyler Smith. So, as well as Dak Prescott, if this guy has that, it opens up everything for all of those wide receivers, the Brandon Cooks of the world, the CeeDee Lambs. I think that everything can be able to flow. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be looking at once we get to training camp, bro, those trenches.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's going to be a lot of storylines with those trenches, man, because first couple of days of camp, everyone's still in their pajamas running around. But when the pads come on is when we start watching the camp. You know what I mean? Obviously. So everyone wants to see when the pads come on because that's what we want to see.
You said, JC, who is your guest? Yeah, this is my guy Mo Freeman. My guy Mo. He been on here before. Yeah.
What's up?
His birthday tomorrow too, so he had to tap in with me. Shout out to Rampage. His birthday's today, man. Much love to y'all. Hopefully y'all, I'm so glad you guys tapped in with us, man. I appreciate y'all.
I come in peace, okay? I come in peace, all right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Jaguars fan, yeah.
I'm a Jags fan. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I do like to chop it up about y'all Cowboys and all that, man. So I come in peace.
He said, JC, I want in. Hey, man. Hey, look, man. Hey, you can definitely tap in, bro. You can definitely tap in. You already know. It's home on this side, man. So, Mickey, shout out to Mickey. Her first time ever going live was on my stream. And, after she did that, she started taking off and doing her own thing. So, it's always home on this side, man. You guys can always tap in with me, bro. It's not, I want it to be like a family on this side. You know what I mean? You can always get on, even if you don't even show your face. Because I just hear your voice, you know what I'm saying? Give your opinion. I should have, turned the phone lines on, but I know we probably running against time, but it's all good though. You know what I mean? We hitting on everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see. My man said, hey, shout out to Danny Savage, the draft guru. That's our draft guru right there, man. Once he said, I'll be hearing him out. Yeah, he said I had Michigan Zach Zenner as my guard. I won. He went a few picks later after Beebe. Zenner broke 2 bones in his right leg versus Ohio State. He might have been a red shirt this year. Yeah, Zenner definitely was a good player, but with Beebe, bro, I was so happy about him because of his consistency. Just like you said, only giving up 2 sacks throughout his whole career, bro. That's big time. And being around guys like Deuce Vaughn, you got to remember Deuce Vaughn played for that team, Mo. You know what I mean? So he has a good understanding of what guys like Cooper Beebe can be able to do and how he can be able to, affect that offensive line. So it's exciting. And I think that, the whole coaching staff, they was, getting it right as far as, at pretty much everything. So let me see. Let's go. Where should I go? Okay. Because we'll wrap it up soon, man. There's just so much stuff to talk about, bro. So it's been good, though. It's been really good, bro. Definitely been missing you on here, man.
Hey, likewise. Appreciate you, man.
So is there any other player that you feel good about? We've went down your list of guys on your side of town. Is there any other guys that you're excited to see this year, bro?
From the draft?
Yeah, I got the list up. Yeah.
Okay, from the draft. Yeah, okay. So obviously, Brian Thomas. I'm really Brian Thomas and Jarrian Jones are definitely my favorites. But the other guys on this list, I'm really looking forward to are Mason Smith, like we talked about earlier. And surprisingly, kicker. We need a damn kicker, man. Cam Little, he's a guy that can knock down 60-yard field goals, stuff like that. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic to see because they are important. The other guys like Javon Foster, that's a swing tackle. But no, he's a swing tackle guy that's going to come in as a potential insurance policy. Because the thing is with Jacksonville is we're talking about trenches. Man. Well, look, Cam Robinson's a solid upper echelon left tackle in this league, but the best ability is availability, damn it. And this dude can't stay on the field either because of injury or suspension. And he's also in a contract year, just like Walker Little is, who y'all tried to steal from us a couple years ago. I ain't forget about that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't forget about that. You ain't get Walker Little. You better give him a second round pick. You want Walker Little.
Hey, it's so crazy. You always bring that up, bum. You always bring that up, bro. Like, I did hear that we did like him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Walker Little's a guy that when Cam Robinson was out at left tackle was a very good player. But, it's like he's in his 4th year. He was a second-round pick a couple years ago, and he's in a contract year. And so Javon Foster's that guy to come in as a swing. Jordan Jefferson, who we talked about earlier, he's a one-tech. He's a nose tackle. He's not going to be as a sexy pick. He's going to be the mauler guy, the guy that comes in and does the dirty work. He is the backup option in case Devon Hamilton, our starting nose tackle, struggles because he, like I said, was coming off injury last year, and he also had an illness. So it took him time to recover. Now he's okay, but we needed that insurance policy with Jordan Jefferson, who went to school with Mason Smith, so they know how to play together and play off each other. So that was a big pick. So I would say those guys. I would say other than Thomas and Jerry and Jones, Mason Smith is probably the biggest guy I'm looking forward to because of the need at defensive tackle depth. He's got Eric Armstead to learn from, and this kid's 6'6" and over 300 pounds, and to be able to move like that, and he's now 100% from the injury, he's probably the next guy on the list.
Yeah, man, that's so awesome, man. We've been covering so many different things, but there's one more that we gotta cover because it's been a good show, bro. I like you on the show, man.
Yeah, man, appreciate you.
You're a Jaguars fan. One thing about you, bro. You have a good knowledge for the game, and a lot of us in the chat box, we know a lot of football, bro. One thing on the Jaguars, bro, you know your team, and you also know the NFL. You know what I mean? I'll be asking you questions just to, pick your brain on certain things. It's always good to be a sponge, bro. So definitely. But as far as, the linebacker position, so I'm gonna break down my guy real quick, and then you just give me your thoughts on, your guy, Lil Khan, going into this year. My guy here, man, Maurice Leafau. I'm so excited to see this player, bro. Because when you have a guy like Mike Zimmer that's saying that he's a very smart player and he's answering all the questions, that's what you need when it comes down to that linebacker position. Not saying that this guy is the most athletic player. I think he ran a 4.6, but when you have that high IQ, you can roam sideline to sideline and be physical. Like, there's things that he's going to have to work on. We all know if he can start off on special teams, being around guys like Eric Kendricks, as well as DeMarvion Overshown, you got to start making changes when it comes down to that linebacker position. And, having that long hair too, man, you got to have that tiger dog.
Yeah. It's something about it.
When you look good, you play good. You know what I'm saying?
It's something about it.
Yeah, man. But, the closing speed and being able to stop the run, this having the ability to read and diagnose. Love doing his breakdown. He was the first breakdown that I did this year. That thing blew up, man. It was so good seeing that, starting off doing the all-22 with his film. But, the difference maker that he was, another leader for this team, coming out in a big-time school. I think that, if he can just get groomed in. Same thing with Kalen Carson. A lot of these guys, I think that this guy can be able to be something. Look at the back pedal right there, smooth back pedal. We got zooming in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let me go back to that, man. Hey, come on now. If you ain't zooming it in all 22 nowadays, there's something wrong with you. Because it's too far away. You got to zoom it in so we can see what things you need to see. You know what I'm saying? Smooth feet. Roaming sideline to sideline and being physical. I think that we got a good one as far as Maurice Leafau, but he still got to go out there and prove it just like everybody else, my brother.
Yeah, Leafau, I hope I didn't botch his name, but Leafau, I like him. High IQ, he is physical, he is a human missile coming up the gap.
Facts, Mike, I'm sorry, bro. Facts, he said that he was my top 5. I love this kid. He was saying that for a minute, bro. He was saying that at the very beginning, so.
Leafau?
Yeah, before we drafted him. He even hit me up in the DM and was like, JC, hey, check out Leafau. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely got to give you your flowers on that.
Hey, I don't blame him. Because the kid can play and he's definitely smart. I think the issues with him is, even though he's physical and can attack the gaps and he can re-diagnose, I think his pursuit angles need some work. Sometimes he takes really bad angles and his coverage skills need to improve. I think that, if we're gonna keep it a buck like we always do, he's got, because you overshooting gaps and overshooting angles, it don't matter how fast the missile is if you don't hit the target.
Yeah, you get washed out of plays. Yeah, you get washed out of plays. Yeah.
You're right. You just get washed away. And so, the thing is, if he can just become more patient, more disciplined with that, sometimes, you're not going to be the most athletic guy in coverage, but if you can just be better instinctually and be in better positions to make plays in coverage without necessarily being a speed demon, then that can compensate for your ability to be a good run stopper, which he is, a good 2-down player, which he is right now. He's kind of an old school 2-down player right now. Until it's like, okay, in the NFL today, hey, it's 70% nickel.
Yeah.
It's 65-70% nickel.
Yes, it is. They'll start the game off out 5, like first play of the game. That's why, we talk about 4-3 and 3-4, but just like you said, 75% nickel. You got to come out nickel, dime, big nickel, 3-3-5. You got to be ready because they ready to run that ball. They ready to throw that ball down the field quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
With guys like Leofau, man, I mean, when you're going up against these tight ends, a lot of these tight ends, they're hybrid, bro. They're offensive linemen mixed with wide receivers. And these guys are running big-time routes. So you got to be ready for those guys, as well as DeMarvion Overshown. I'm really excited about him, bro. Like, that's my guy.
Yeah. I know.
When he played football, bro, was how I played when I was playing in high school, bro. That's how I try to have that reckless type of style of play. And I think that with him, like, gaining the extra 10 to 12 pounds, I think that he can definitely be something for us. Let me see if I
definitely.
I'm running all my all 22 because I'm about to stop running it soon because we about to get to training camp, so I don't care. I'm letting it rip.
Let it go, man. Let it go.
I'm letting it rip. All righty, Trevor. You all right?
Yeah.
Let me see. I don't even know if it's still on. Yeah, it's still on there, man. You know what I do, baby. You know what I'm saying? High school. Look, college, man. We breaking it down, man. Just seeing him coming last year, he had so much promise, bro, with DeMarvion Overshown. He was making a lot of plays. I'm excited to see how they're going to utilize him, but playing that will linebacker position, and he can be able to guard those tight ends that we've been talking about, those running backs that we've been talking about. He will make his plays as well. But I think that all of those linebackers as a whole, they've gotten better this year, especially having guys like Eric Kendricks and his leadership. But, seeing him coming off that injury, gaining the extra 12 pounds, you see that this guy's gotten a lot stronger. But if he can get his head in the playbook and continue to keep focusing, I think that this guy has Pro Bowl potential. I've seen this guy play for play and pound for pound. When you see a guy like him, his physicality and the way that he can be able to cover, I think that this guy can be special, man, for sure.
I know you've been talking about him for a while. I know you talked about last year a lot. I remember that.
Yeah.
But you know why I really like him? Because, I got to put my little Jags bias on.
Hey, look at him getting his tackle against them Jaguars, dog.
Yeah, man.
What's up?
Why you gotta keep showing that? Leave my Jags alone, man.
Nah. I did that a minute ago. It was different. I don't know, for some reason that just showed up, man.
Nah, but you know what it is, and you know why I really like him because of the Jags bias. It's because he really reminds me of somebody who used to play for it. He reminds me of Telvin Smith.
Oh man, okay, got you.
That's exactly who he reminds me of. His play speed, his lateral movement, and he's also the same athletic profile. He needed to get bigger. Telvin Smith was 6'3", 210 pounds at linebacker and needed to beef up over the couple years. And then Telvin Smith was an all-pro player for a year, and he played at a Pro Bowl level for a while. But then Telvin Smith's problem with Telvin Smith, that's a different issue, but he could play football at a high level, and this is who this kid reminds me of when you look at the tape here and how he moves and how he attacks the ball and his coverage ability as well. It's just going to be a discipline thing and consistency thing with him, but the talent and athleticism is definitely there despite his size limitations.
All right, so just wrap it up, man. So real quick, I just want to hear your thoughts, man, on Aluakon. Yeah, Aluakon. Give me your thoughts on Aluakon going into this year. I know did he sign a big contract?
Yeah, Aluakon, we talked about him last time. What he did was we signed him basically to a 3-year, $45 million extension, which was the same exact contract he signed a couple years ago. So we basically re-signed him. There was talk about, maybe letting him go as a, or letting him go as a cap casualty. I was like, oh, hell no, you don't let this guy go. He's leading the NFL in tackles every single year. He is a tackling machine. You don't leave this guy and somebody that's leading the entire NFL in tackles. You don't let him walk. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He is a dog. He is the guy that can attack the run. He's very good against the run. He's solid against the pass. You know what I'm saying? And you don't let a guy like that get away.
Films, baby.
Yes, sir.
Films, baby. I'm a little drunk, dog. Yeah.
He lit. My boy lit over here.
I missed y'all, man. Y'all already know, dog.
My boy lit. My boy lit over there. I love it, man. I love it. And yeah, so to finish up on Aluakon, I love him. I love that we re-signed him. He's the leader. He's the leader and the captain of our defense. He's a tackling machine. He can play. He's solid against the pass as well. And he's a great leader. And he's a great locker room guy. You don't give that up. And so I think it's a big year for him, but it's a bigger year for Devin Lloyd, who's going into his third year. we're switching back to a 4-3 scheme. Who's going to be the other linebacker? Is it going to be Ventrell Miller, who missed the entire year as a rookie last year? Is it going to be Chad Muma, who is a backup player that might finally have his chance to start? Now we're in a 4-3 scheme. So my question is more about that linebacker position and other positional battles, but that's the real question for me.
Yeah, big time, man. So dang, man, this was definitely good, man. It's so great, man. This was very productive. Last thing, predictions, man. I need to hear your predictions. You know what I mean? What record do y'all think y'all gonna go this year? I seen you guys schedule, so you know what I'm saying. It might be a little tough. You know?
Who's that Texans fan again? What's his name?
Eastside.
Yeah. Hey, Eastside Harold, if you're there, sir.
Or not. Sometimes he just come and go. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, he'll see Eastside Harold, man. I got news for you, brother. We win in the division, man. So just take a step back, Eastside Harold. Just be number 2. We going back to number 1. Just take a step. You had your little 1-year wonder, but you know what? NFL defenses do work. So CJ Stroud got to prove it for year 2. So we've taken the division, whether you like it or not, Eastside Harold. Okay, I'm coming at you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be good. But they talented though. They talented. Real
Texans got a squad. They picked up Stephon Diggs. They picked up Daniil Hunter from Minnesota. Oh. I mean, they got some. They are a very good team, and they did a hell of a job rebuilding very quickly with that coaching staff. But as far as my Jags, listen, man, we got the core. We got Trevor locked up. We got Josh Allen locked up. We had a good draft. We got Eric Armstead, Darnell Savage, a free agency, and these guys. We got better on the offensive line, defensive line. We got better at receiver with Brian Thomas and Gabe Davis with Kirk. We got Evan Ingram, who is a top 5, top 6 tight end, in my opinion. Okay. So there's no excuses for Trevor Lawrence. Travis Etienne is a top 10 running back in this league, period. So I think this team, if we can stay healthy, we are going to be a 10 to 11 win team, and we are winning the division. If everyone stays healthy, like we can play, we're 10, 11 win team, man.
Yeah. Hey, look, same thing with our Dallas Cowboys. The last 3 years, we've been 12-5. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, some people, they throw salt at Mike McCarthy, but going 12-5, all of those years, bro, that is fireworks. The thing is with the Dallas Cowboys, I think the same thing. 10, 11 win season, which is okay. Just get back to the playoffs and get back in the mix. There will be times where you might run into some teams, but you got to figure it out. But I think that what Dak Prescott can be able to do with guys like CeeDee Lamb, once you get things going, you got Ezekiel Elliott. We know that he's coming back. Rico Dowdle, all those guys on the offensive line, on the offensive line, get this chemistry going and let's get this thing rocking. You know what I mean? Defense, they're going to have a lot. They have a lot to prove. Mike Zimmer, that defensive line, those linebackers, I'm excited to see how that all plays out. But I think that with this team, a lot of these players, people got to understand, we did not pick up a lot of players in free agency, but when you have Dak Prescott, when you have Trayvon Diggs, when you have Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, a lot of those players, man, we can be able to scrape you on and get you off the field. If you think, you know what I'm saying? We have the talent to be able to do that, but they have to go out there and prove it when it matters most. When you get to the playoffs, when the lights are bright, there are no excuses for Dak. There are no excuses for the whole coaching staff. Everybody's going to be watching you. We love this team so much, bro. We are very passionate when it comes to our team. We're not a delusional fan base. I don't care what anybody says. We understand that we're good, but they got to prove it. So it's going to be exciting. Regular season, going into the preseason, I'm gonna be breaking it down, man. You know what I'm saying? I got some more breakdowns to do, man. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know you do.
You know, I'm like a bot. I'm like a bot, man. You know, I gotta go bot real quick. Yeah.
I know, man. I know you are, man, because you work hard at this craft, man. And I appreciate you having me on, man, because definitely it's always fun, and it's always fire when you on all the time. You don't rest. I don't know where you get this energy from, bro. We pushing 40. Where you get this energy from? I don't know what the hell's going on with you, man. Okay, look.
Cowboys, dog.
Hey, but let me ask you this one question, Jay, before everything. Let me ask you this. What is the biggest area of concern for your Cowboys positionally right now? Is it linebacker? Like, what is your biggest area of concern right now?
I mean, one tech. To me personally, I believe that you can get better at that wide receiver spot, but that one technique position is everything. That's why we had the NAB added, and I was inspired to see that you guys picked up two defensive tackles. They play for the same
Yep.
school, but
Yep.
three technique, one technique. Both of those guys can switch off. When you nab at it, that's why I mentioned guys like Denzel Jackson and Dustin Rogers. Continue to keep nabbing at it. If you have to pick up a guy in free agency, if you go into preseason and it's looking a little murky, if it's looking a little rocky, you continue to keep doing that, because don't let that be the end all be all of the season. Find a space eater, some guy that can two gap any wherever you want this guy to be. Because the thing is, that defensive tackle position is going to bring the best out of the linebackers. If you can be able to get that right, as well as that center position, I think that it can open up everything, man. Trenches matter.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, yes, sir. Hey, no lies, no lies told, brother. No lies told, brother. That's why I had to ask you that, man, because that goes hand in hand. One technique and those linebackers, obviously, one cannot work without the other. That's why I wanted to ask you that. So that was an interesting answer. Okay, so.
Hey man, Cowboys Nation, man, we appreciate y'all so much. This was really good. It's been a little while since I've been live, but we still doing things with the All 22. We still will continue to go live throughout training camp. Shout out to Sadiq. We're going to go to training camp next year. It's been a lot of things that's been going on this year, but we still nabbing at it. You already know what it is, so gotta continue to keep on bringing out content. And I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for the support. Hopefully you tap back in with us, Mo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, man. Really, like I said, man, really appreciate you having me on, man, as always, brother. Always good to chop it up. Even though I'm not a Cowboys fan, I appreciate y'all having me on, and y'all not ganging up on me, man. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that, man.
Back, dog. You already know it's respect. They respect me, dog. So they know if I bring you on the show, I got they back. You know what I'm saying? So I know, you know what I'm saying? They got mine too. So you already know what it is, man. But I appreciate you so much, man. You already know we're gonna tap in, brother.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gone.